Hello and welcome back to the Ride Right Waxing and UK One Wheel channel. So, for you avid one-wheelers, we're just taking a little bit of a break from the norm. We're going to get into something that started my channel all off, is waxing and detailing skis, ready for the winter seasons. Now we are in the middle of summer, but having said that, we have plenty of indoor snow zones, etc. and dry ski slopes. And these are going to be going off to a lovely customer of mine. We're going to get these ship shape so we can get some summer lessons in and ready for the winter season that's coming up in 2021. So let's take a look at these skis. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at these skis. Both skis are in actually not bad condition. The bases are a little bit dry and we've got some corrosion just on the tips and the tails, just from basically standard storing. Obviously these are metal, but like I say, we'll get these looking lovely and sharp. We've got a nice, obviously dry base there, but we'll get some moisture put back into that and we'll get these edges as sharp as possible, both base and side, and again down to the rear of the ski. We've got some heavy corrosion just there, but we'll clean all that up. Not too many deep marks, there's a little bit of one there. We'll see how that looks. May need to drop a little bit of P-Tex just in there to make sure that is flat as possible, so we get the surface as polished as possible. But yes, you'll see a big difference between these skis in a second from start to finish. But what we are also going to do for the client as well is a lady has kindly supplied me her boot, which is fantastic, so we can make sure that we've got the full fitment of this boot that's nice and tight in the binding by simply adjusting the bindings, either adjustable bindings. And also we're going to set the DIN settings for the lady as well. So the lady has given me her details, so height, obviously weight, etc. And obviously the ability of the riding as well, and we're going to get those set both front and back. And I'll also put a link into a fantastic calculator which you can actually have a look at, so you can put your own details in there and it will tell you what settings you should be running your DIN settings at. Obviously 10 is extremely hard, you've got to have quite a severe crash to make sure your ski releases. Obviously 2 and 3 is very, very weak, so the slightest knock and the ski will come off. This is going to be set at 5 for the lady. It does recommend 5.5, but because we're going to be going dry ski slopes, and obviously it's been a while, or should we say 6 weeks, 6 months rather, before they've been on these skis, we're going to make sure that it's not too difficult. And I'd rather the ski come off than somebody obviously hurting their leg or ankle. So we're going to be setting those at 5, but we've got a multitude of tools here. We're going to be using the Butter Pro Wax. After speaking to Butter today on the telephone, this is the best indoor wax that they do. They do a dry butter wax, but obviously that is for dry ski slopes, and the lady's going to be going to indoor artificial snow, or snow should we say, here in one of the snow zones across the country. We've got the side file just there, then onto the base file, and also we've got the copper brush for structuring, as well as just over there in the background behind the No More Knuckles, also from Butter. We have got the other nylon brushes, horsehair brushes, to get these skis as polished and as detailed as possible. So we'll get into these skis. I'm going to pop you on time lapse, and then we'll take a look after getting one of them done, and you can see the difference on the edges. And once both edges are done, we'll get some wax laid down. These are going to a storeroom for 24 hours to really make sure, in this lovely warm conditions that we've currently got, that those pores of that ski stays open as long as possible, sucking in as much wax as possible, and making sure they are ship shape, ready to go back to the customer. So no further ado, let's go. edge. So that's the base edge. We're going to work on the side edge. We're going to get both of these ship shape, making sure there's obviously a lot more life left in here. It's all about reducing the amount of material that we take off the ski, so we give obviously a slightly longer lasting ski for the customer. So yeah, but that's where we are so far. So let's just get back to it. Okay, so both of these base edges now are extremely sharp. They're sharp enough. Look, I cut my wrist on them, so that's always quite nice when you're straight above two veins. But that is the nature of obviously slipping. So yeah, so super sharp, and they're going to get even sharper when we basically sharpen the sidewalls, which we're doing now. And the reason for using the liquid, it becomes then a polisher, and the liquid obviously helps with the diamond stones, using backwards and forwards. With the other file, it's one direction, you lift and back. With obviously the diamond stone, you can go backwards and forwards, and that just gives it the polish, and that's what gives it its real fine sharpness. So we're going to work on the side edges now. We're going to get those ship shape, and then we can start working on the base of this ski. So we'll do exactly the same as what we're doing on this ski to the other ski, and then obviously we'll show you the waxing process as well. All right, so let's get back to time lapse. Okay, the side wall of this ski is all over the place. We have, obviously we try and set the angle. The angle for this ski we're going to be setting at 90. We've got some points connecting lovely with 90, and I think we've got some points connecting at 88. So what we're going to try and do is level this side bevel of this ski out as much as possible. You can see a slight undulation just here on the ski, where I think possibly a machine has been obviously sharpening this ski, and is obviously it's rotated, and obviously it's taken little bits of chunks and gouges out of it. But even still, we're going to make this as best as we physically can get it, and we're going to keep on trying to reduce the amount of material we're removing, but in the same breath trying to get just enough off so we get that perfect 90 degree angle on the base to the side wall, so we've got it as sharp as possible, so when carving you're confident in then putting in your turns and making sure the ski performs how you expect it to, and it holds your weight and holds you on the slope, so it gives you the confidence to push on. So let's get back to sharpening these sides. Okay, there you can see the shine on that side wall. We have got that super sharp, and the best way of checking, use your finger now. It leaves all the residue behind, and basically that there is lovely and sharp and will hold you on the slopes. Goes all the way down the ski. So that's the side edge all done. We've got the base edge all done. We'll work on the other side, and then we'll get onto the other ski, get that done, and then I'll show you time lapse for doing the base. Let's get back to it. Okay, so these edges are all nice and sharp, both side and base. We've got the base fully scraped, any high spots taken out, basically worked into those areas that we may or thought we might need a P-Tex, but we've managed to shallow those out quite a bit. I always try to reduce P-Texing because wax is not porous to P-Tex. We're going to be laying down the Butter Pro ski and snowboard wax, which is a great wax. I must admit, really good. So we're going to be laying that some down on the ski now, about 115 on the iron Celsius. So that's the melting point. If you find it smokes when laying it down, you've got the iron too hot, just simply turn it down. But we're going to pop you on time lapse. We're going to drip this on. We're going to do quite a few passes of this ski. What I'm going to do just before we do that is I'm going to give this ski a bit of a clean, just to make sure that all those pores, and we've pulled all the dirt out rather. So we're going to do that first, dry it with a hairdryer, iron's warming up, then we're going to lay down some wax. So let's pop you on time lapse. Okay, so this ski is all freshly waxed. It's just out of the hot room. We're going to be taking all this wax off now and making sure that we get some structure back into the ski and get it as polished and detailed as possible. And then I'm going to do a comparison between the old ski, which is just over there, and the new ski that's all been refurbished. So you can see the difference, and then we'll get to work on the other ski and make sure they look exactly the same and are ready for the slope. So let's pop you back on time lapse. Let's get this totally detailed, and we'll have a quick look after that. These are the skis, how they looked when they came to me. This is the ski I still have got to do. So we're going to get this ship shape looking lovely. We're going to get it looking as good as that one. Quite a bit of a contrast in colour in the base. We've got a good layer of that Butter Pro wax laid down. I think you would agree. Quite a contrast in colour. That's purely and simply wax polishing. We've Teflon the edges because, as you can see, the edges were quite heavily corroded in some spots with some really high pitting. We've got 99% out of the base without taking too much of the rail material away, which I don't want to do. But those edges have come up super sharp. As you saw earlier, I did cut my wrist on them. They are super sharp, and the base is all finished. So quite a contrast between the two skis there. We're going to get the other one looking as ship shape as the ski to the left. I'm going to pop you on time lapse. We're going to get through this one, and then we'll have a look at the final finished pair. So back to time lapse. Okay, so concentrating on this rail, we've got a little bit of pitting there on the tail. That shouldn't really make any difference because we've dulled this end off to stop any catching. But obviously I would need to go far too deep. That's purely just rust corrosion, far too deep to get rid of those. But we've cleaned them up, and I'll seal them in with some Teflon. Same with this bit just here, it's just too deep. The corrosion's just taken hold a little bit too much. Like I say, you could grind it all off and get rid of it, but it's not going to harm the ski because it's towards the edge, and really where you want the contact point, where you can see now the ski edge is super shiny, super sharp. We basically have filed this multiple times. I kept changing and cleaning, as you see, and sweeping down, making sure that we get all the debris off, not to contaminate anything, as much keeping the file as clean as possible. Then we've gone over with what we call a medium coarse diamond stone and some liquid to get it really polished up. And if you remember up the end here, this is where it's getting really black. We've got a little bit of pitting there. Again, not too bad because we're up on the tip of the ski here now. And again, we've dulled off the edges, again, stopping them from catching. So this area, that won't affect the performance of the ski in any way, shape or form. But that is a lot cleaner. That is super sharp, as you can hear. Takes a good bit of skin off the top of my nail, as you can see there. So we've got a nice sharp edge. And we're going on now and detail the base. I'll pop you on time lapse and then we're all done. So let's get back to it. Okay, what you have just seen me do at the end of that time lapse, copper brush basically brushes the structure back into the ski, making it extremely smooth, picking up any high points. I've used the metal scraper to get all the dead base off. Quite a bit come off, not too much to be fair. So the ski is now nice and level, it's lovely and smooth, and this just adds a bit of structure back into the ski and pulls any of the dead material out of the core. So it's ready to receive some wax. So we're going to lay the wax down now, let that dry for 24 hours. We're going to take that off and then we'll have a look. So okay, so these Verso 10 lady skis are all complete. So this is what they look like now, and this is what they look like before. Bit of a difference, I like to think. Hopefully the customer will be over the moon with these. We've got some great structure back in these skis. We've got some great depth. What I did with these skis, I waxed them once, and I thought I was happy with them, but I wasn't over the moon 100% happy. They still looked a little bit dry. So I actually waxed these skis twice. So I've actually put a lot of wax in these skis. So obviously we citrus stripped these with some green scrape to get all the dead skin off these skis. We've metal base scraped these, get all the dead material off. And I think you'll agree, they've come up absolutely lovely. So until next time, I'm going to wrap these things up, ship these back to the customer. But thanks ever so much indeed for watching if you've got this far through. Obviously, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. I've got lots of one-wheel action coming, which is my summer snowboarding. As much as if you want some skis doing in Devon, then obviously please share this video. Please hit me up. My details will all be in the description below. I'll put also in there the DIN settings, because we've got the boots all set up for both skis now. And I'll put that website link in the description below. But until next time, thanks ever so much indeed for watching, and I'll see you soon.